Welcome to episode 4 of Houseki no Kuni, Land of the Lustrous. Last time, Phos turned into a slug, and then it turns out no, she didn't. So, she's back. The slug is just here now, and I have no idea what it's going to contribute, where we're going to go. Pretty unpredictable show so far, so looking forward to getting into it. We'll have a discussion at the end. Time code is in the description if you want to skip to that. Also, a patron of mine, Iwa Yuru, was kind enough to upload the episodes of this show in really high quality. What I've been watching hasn't been bad. My recording of it may make it look worse than it is, so don't worry about that. If it looks like it's horrible quality or something, it's not as bad as it may look there, just from what OBS records. But he uploaded really high quality versions that have slightly different translation. He said that Congo is known as adamant. It's just a different name for him. There are male pronouns used a lot of the times for the gems. Just small changes like that. So that was really nice. Thank you very much for going out of your way to do that. I really appreciate it. I was testing out recording those, and for some reason OBS/Sony Vegas was having a little bit of an issue. So for now, until I get that worked out, I'm going to be recording the same ones that I have always been recording, but I'm also going to watch the high quality ones as well. I always go through the episodes several times anyway to go back and take notes for the discussion, so to go back and look at it in high quality and also see the differences in translations and whatnot, I'll be seeing both translations just to, double check like I do with manga a lot of the time. So yeah, just wanted to get that out there. Thank you for those videos uploaded. That was really cool. So let's go ahead and watch in 3, 2, 1, play. Let's see what we get next. We've got Lunarians to start bowing down to Congo. Is this while he's meditating, which he was doing in the last episode? Look at them all. Is this just a dream? Is this the past? Is this a vision of the future? I assume this is while he's meditating. He just blows them all away. And here he wakes up. Yeah, okay. Didn't expect to start that way. We really don't know anything about this man. So yeah, is this a dream of something that has happened? Does he see the future while he meditates? Or was this just a dream of just questionable meaning? Okay. So yeah, I'm just wondering about Phos and the slug and everything, and we start off with that. Lunarians bowing to him. He then destroys them. What is the history there between him and them? I don't know. I don't know much about the guy. But yeah, looking forward to seeing where it goes. Never know. Everything with Phos, the slug, Cinnabar, Diamond, characters we focused on so far, that's all pretty unpredictable in itself, but you never know when it's going to focus on a different character, when we might learn more about Congo or any of the other 20-something gems. So, yeah. Okay, OP is ending. Let's... Soul, flesh, and bone. So, yeah, some stuff went down while you were out. Covering his ass a little bit. Whole day, huh? I was just sleeping. Yeah, there was... Speaking of trouble, there was that. While you were asleep. Well, they weighed the options. But also in the second one, yeah, it was handled pretty quickly. Fos was a slug. Almost. She talks to a slug at the very least. And here they are. The Admirabilis? Is that right? Is he just saying random bullshit, or is that true? Is he just trying to make himself seem powerful and scary, or is that accurate? Come from these coasts. This is his normal size, so they tampered with him somehow. Oh, okay. Taken just like the gems are. Altered by the environment there. And they lose their sense of self. So he's in the same position as the gems. Rude. Yeah, they don't know. They didn't have too much respect for you in the first place. Swallow all of them, and then they can understand too. Okay. Who said that? That was a really, strongly delivered line. Who said that? Oh, you do? Okay. Yeah, there was the whole shell debacle. It's weird that Cinnabar knew when the ones who saw her in the shell didn't know, but I mean, we talked about that already. I did see some manga panels that shows that it was handled slightly differently there, and better from what I saw. But yeah, you're really the only one on the help Cinnabar train. And you know that. You know just how bad she was feeling. Just taking it upon herself. Maybe you can help the slug. Somehow. Something's not quite right in there. I put you back together wrong. The slug is her new weapon. She can use it to help her fight, somehow, maybe. Alright, it's gone. Back to the moon with you. Oh. Oh dear. You guys might want to hide behind something. We're shrinking. Oh, okay. Not just the girls, the gems. You like him too? Wow. Okay, now. Alright. He's being understanding. He didn't freak out. Nice. It was cool to see Bort laughing. They were all laughing at him. I wouldn't have expected Bort to laugh, but she was joining in on it and laughing. But yeah, he's like, yeah, let's cooperate. We're together. It's fine. Okay. Yeah, he knows. But he just doesn't know what to do. Alright, she wanted to do it. Okay. To get away from everybody else. He tried to tell her that just being alive was enough. But no, it's not. You don't have a purpose. You have nothing to do with your time. Especially when you don't die, and they've been alive for however long. Of course she wanted something to do. But he knows it's an issue, and he blames himself for this, for not being able to find an answer. So what is going to allow Fos to find this answer that he has never been able to? And the slug can help. Her experiences with this thing and whatever else she gets up to will lead her to some kind of answer. Like how? Okay. Ventracosus. So they don't go in the sea. Rutil is a 6, the doctor. The sea is off limits. I don't know what the hell is in the sea on this planet. Saw jellyfish. But they can go in the pond. They can swim. I mean, of course, they went underwater last time. Oh yeah, they lost some stuff from that attack. So they put on... Oh, we're seeing one of them get naked. Okay. Interesting. Absorbing that sunlight. The butt. That's a long time. Okay. She's been around a long time. They're appearing more frequently. And she specifically said sunny days. Can you see one of the reasons why I see them as girls? Look at the backside. Just hanging out naked. That's true too. Don't have a fear of death, so not as attuned to self-preservation, maybe. But yeah, that's cool that they put on like a powder, or whatever she said, a resin, to protect the powder that they have covering their chipped parts, to keep it on when they go swimming. Okay, this girl's making uniforms. Eye for detail, I guess. Well, about that. He says that, but apparently they're not allowed to go there normally. So would he really let her go had she finished the hill? Yeah, food. A lot of creatures need food. Different from you guys. All right, there. Die or whatever you call it. Yeah, they don't have that. Well, I mean, even creatures who do experience it can't fully comprehend it. It's hard to imagine. Different perspectives on different types of life experience. Meaning of life, meaning of death. Ventracosus saying that, the fact that life ends is what helps to give it meaning. Whereas they don't get that. So we're going. Ignoring orders and heading into the sea. With this world that we have here and the great designs and animation and everything, I can't wait to see what the hell's underwater. I don't know what'll be down there, but I want to see. That's bad. Be careful. What about pressure if you go deep? I don't know how that would affect a gym person. Yeah, there's no going back on it when you decided to do it. Oh. Well, there that is then. Hi. It just cuts back and it's this. Sure. Yeah. That was a real quick. It's taking some processing. There's some jiggle. There's some jiggle happening. Ugly. Of course. Oh, well. Okay, she was a hot jellyfish woman. Yeah, she's got the jiggles. Water jugs. They are, well... yeah. Praise be to them. I don't know if they know what that means. Well, anyway, this slug has gone through a lot recently. So many varying opinions about this slug as it changes. Snail, jellyfish. Both humanoid. I don't think it's that they changed to be like you. Still thinks Congo's attractive. Okay, humans, right? Alright, that's the title. They split into 3. Because they talked about the 6 crashes or whatever, the 6 impacts. On the 6th one is when this happened. So humans going down different evolutionary chains known as the flesh, bone, and soul. They're the flesh. The gems. Wow, there's a lot here. Whoa. We're getting a whole history lesson about the origin of these life forms that are legend, so who knows? There's definitely truth to this, but, you know, details that we don't know. The soul, though. New lands. Is that the Lunarians? What's Congo? Is he what? Is that them? Huh. Well, this is unexpected. As is most of the show. Seeking them out to be human again. Whoa. Congo, what's going on with him? And I mean, yeah, in a way. Interesting point. Huh. The classic pillows under the blanket technique. Does it ever work? Or whatever, that. Well, she knows that she's gone. Yeah, there hasn't been anything down here that we've seen. Okay. Oh! With this slug, the fucking Ventracosus, I keep having to reevaluate you entirely, like 4 times over. Brother, okay. It's like, okay, clearly she's doing this to save someone. Look at the shell. Oh. Okay. Jesus. This show, there's so much to think about. And I'm just thinking about all this stuff, all the things that they've discussed and that we learned, and then all of a sudden that happens that I don't see coming at all. She's like, oh, someone close to me. I'm like, okay, forgive me. And I'm like, And then the arrows come down and, oh, that's happening now. So is there anything after the ED? Probably not. Okay, then. I think we have a fair amount to discuss. Okay, episode 4. Quite a lot to this one. So we have this slug who Phos can talk to. Everybody's acting like she's crazy because none of them can hear it speaking. And this slug goes through so many changes in my mind. In the last episode, when it's introduced, or whenever it was introduced, and, you know, it's absorbing Phos, well, that's bad, but then it turned into this cute little thing. It's like, oh, it seems like it might be nice, and then it starts talking, and you're like, okay, it's it's a innocent, cutesy little slug. It's the ruler of its species, and you get to know it that way. Then it transforms into this jellyfish human woman with big bouncing titties, and it's like, okay, that's happening now. And then it betrays Phos entirely, and then you're like, a million miles an hour. It was fucking trying to comprehend what the hell's happening with this slug. But, yeah, unpredictable as usual, and at the end of the episode, definitely didn't see it coming, and I have no clue where the plot could possibly go. But we get some fascinating lore in this episode, learning about the history of the gems and other life forms, and now it's a legend. It's mostly speculative theorizing from Ventracosus, and I'm sure there's either some that's wrong or some that we just don't know the details of yet. I'm sure the general outline of what they talked about is correct, but I'm sure we will learn a lot more about it later. But it was really cool to get the world building about how humans were around on this planet, and we talked about the 6 impacts before, and during the 6th one, when they went off to the sea, they ended up evolving 3 different ways into flesh, bone, and spirit/soul, depending on which translation. One said spirit, one said soul. Also with Ventracosus herself, one of the translations just said ruler, whereas another one said king, which she seems to be pretty clearly female, and they would likely have genders. She refers to the one at the end as her brother. That's one of the aspects they got from humans. So I don't know why it said king in that translation. Queen would be more accurate, or ruler is fine. But either way, the admirabilis, is that what they were called? Are supposedly the flesh of humans, and they got humans' reproductive ability to die, they have kids, pass on knowledge to their kids, they need to eat to survive, all that kind of stuff that's alien to Phos. The gems are the bone, and I'm curious about what exactly they meant by made a contract with other life forms, like how exactly they came to be. Like I said, there's still details that we definitely don't know yet, but they're the bone, and then the Lunarians would be the spirit or the soul. And I thought of them at first, and I'm also thinking about Congo, because I'm like, what the hell is he? We don't know about his whole deal yet, and there's some interesting stuff with him in this episode too. But yeah, that seems to be the Lunarians. And now, this is all really interesting to think about, because Phos even says, like, that means the soul used to be part of us. We all used to be, like, one thing. So, this gives depth to them for the first time. They were just these things that just appeared and caused chaos. We don't really know much. They just want to take the gems because they like them as jewelry. And we find out it's the same with the snails. They want to take the shells. But now, knowing this, is there any way that we can reason with them? I mean, we don't know what the deal is about them. Are they even individuals? Are they just a hive mind? Do they have a hierarchy? Do they have a leader? Can they communicate? Do they have anything other than their instinct to just go after the gems and the other creatures down there? I don't know, but is there anything that we can do other than just try to fight them? This adds a lot to that. Makes me wonder even more about where the plot's going to go. And they're talking about how they might just want to return to being human. Probably not on a conscious level, like they think, oh, this is how it is, we know that we split off 3 different ways from humans, so if we get them, we can be whole again. Probably just like on an instinctual level. There's just something in their minds that drive them to go after the flesh and the bone. Then when they actually get it, they're just like, I don't know what to do with this, let's make jewelry. But yeah, they seem to just have this inherent sense to go battle their enemies. Something maybe taken over from how humans initially were that didn't carry over to some of the other races. But that's really interesting, and I like how Phos was basing it all off of herself when she was coming up with her own theories and thinking like, oh, well, maybe the jellyfish thought that we looked so beautiful they wanted to look like us, or these other things thought that we looked so beautiful they wanted to look like us. And it's like, no, you are not the end-all be-all here. It's not that you are the base and everything else based itself around you. But I really like that detail there. But we have Congo's dream, which opens the episode during his sleep, meditation. Now, this dream, I don't know what the deal is when he meditates. I don't know if this was just a dream, if it has something to do with anything that's happened in the past, if it's maybe a premonition of the future. There's another difference in the translations, where in one of them he says, well, this isn't good, implying that it's predicting something that may happen in the future, or something that has him worried. The fact that he had that dream makes him worried. The other translation said, that was reckless, which seems to be more implying him firing off that blast that he did in his dream. He could have accidentally maybe fired one off, because he says that was reckless and he looks at his hands. So it seems like that translation is implying that he could have accidentally blasted away in real life, and caused some chaos during that dream. Seems to be two very different implications between those. But either way, with the dream itself, it was a really interesting, unexpected way to start the episode, with all the Lunarians bowing down and reaching up to Congo, and then him blasting them away, and then cutting to the sea. And with the info that we have later, again, I still have a lot of questions about this, and I'm sure we'll learn a lot more details later, but my thoughts on that for now is that might be related to the fact that the Lunarians have this desire to return to being human. Maybe Congo is a human, or whatever is left over of them that could conceivably be still called a human. Maybe it's more than just the 3 branches. Maybe there's something else here going on, because he's probably been around for a long time. He's very powerful. I think he knows a lot. So who knows what the deal, but maybe he is the closest approximation to being a human. He obviously looks the most like one, so maybe that's what that dream is about, because they want to go back to being human, and he is one. It's them all around him, like praying to him, as if he's like their god, which is interesting, because he's like he's like a father figure to the gems, but you can call him whatever you want. But yeah, that's way interesting to think back on. Really good moments for him in this episode. Also for Bort, I noticed specifically. You get some other gems here and there, but I really like a couple of Bort's moments, like when he pats her on the head and she has a little smile, or later on when the slug lands on his head and she laughs. I wasn't really expecting that. I assumed she would be the type to just stand there stern and stuck up, as Ventracosus called her, but she joins in and laughs, so she can have some lighthearted moments and doesn't have to just be stern all the time, which is really cool. But yeah, with Congo, just seeing his feelings towards the gems and checking up on them and taking care of them. Wasn't sure what was going to happen with the slug when it landed on his head, if he was going to freak out. I loved how the screen was shrinking, but he takes it well, and he's very level-headed about it, and he's like, okay, I understand the situation. You are the ruler of this other species. We're going to cooperate. We're going to be cool to each other. He's being very nice about the whole thing, telling Fos to, handle it. You're the encyclopedia person. And hearing him acknowledge the cinnabar problem. He acknowledges that it is a problem, and he just doesn't know what to do about it. Cinnabar is the one who wanted to go out on this night watch. He said living was enough because he values their lives. He's like, you can just exist and that's enough, but of course it's not. Even for a creature with a finite lifespan, you need a purpose in life. You need to feel like you're accomplishing something, like you have some kind of meaning. For beings who live as long as they do, and where they don't have any inherent purposes like passing on their genes, their knowledge to a new generation, anything like that, accomplishing anything before death, it's even worse. They're just going to sit around doing nothing for thousands of years or however long, so of course she wants to do something, even though what she's doing ends up, being basically purposeless, and she still hates it. It's better than nothing. And he knows it's a problem, he just hasn't been able to figure out a solution. He puts blame on himself for that. So we'll see what allows Fos to come to an answer that he hasn't been able to. Whatever she experiences with Ventracosus and whatever she learns about the origin of life, I'm sure it'll all tie in somehow to giving her some kind of answer to the cinnabar question. And I want to know how much exactly Congo knows. He probably knows everything. He's probably just all-knowing. I want to know if there's an ulterior reason for not allowing them to go into the sea. Apparently they're just not allowed, I guess, at all. So why is that? Is he afraid of them learning about some kind of answers somehow? Is he just She's like, what is it exactly? Why would that be the case? They're not supposed to go. He says, finish the hill first in your encyclopedia, then we'll talk. But apparently they're not allowed to go into the sea. So even if that was the case, it seems like he still wouldn't allow her to go down there. But I really like the detail that they have this resin that they apply because of the powder that covers up their chipped body parts. They have this resin that makes it so that doesn't wash off, which is a really cool little detail. I could easily see a story like this being written where the author just doesn't even think of that. So to see that there was that extra little detail added in there is really cool. But yeah, like, why are they not allowed to go into the sea? What does he know? What is he keeping from them? Why is he keeping it from them? There's a huge mystery going on surrounding this dude. But yeah, another huge talking point in this episode, again, is, the purpose of life, which has been a huge theme going forward. Finding purpose, finding a place to belong and feel satisfied with yourself. Talked about a lot in this episode, and it's great to hear differing perspectives from different life forms who just experience life in such different ways. Whereas Ventracosus, again, they're going to reproduce, they have to eat, and they're going to pass on knowledge to their kids, they're going to grow and change over time, and they believe the fact that life will one day end is what helps give meaning to it. Whereas Phos can't even comprehend boobies. So she doesn't fully understand what death even is. And some of the other gems we're talking about, like even the fear of death, is foreign to them. They don't even react to threats the way other creatures like bugs do because they're immortal. So they don't even have it in them to react to a threat in the same way and fear for their lives in the same way because in general, they're gonna be fine. And I mean, even for creatures who do die, it's kind of hard to comprehend death. We don't have all the answers. We don't know for sure what happens after you die. And it's hard to imagine it. I know, at least for me it is. You don't know anything except everything that you've consciously experienced. Before you were born, well, you weren't conscious all that time. You only have memories from after you were born. It's hard to imagine just not existing, being in the state you were in before being born and just never having thought again. It's hard to comprehend that fully. It's cool exploring the different angles of this, and I want to see eventually where the story goes with these ideas about finding a purpose in your life and about moving forward, because that seems to be kind of a big thing in the episode too. They mention it a couple times. Phos moving forward with her idea. She's like, even though I'm the one who said I was going to help Cinnabar, like, she didn't ask that of me. I decided it. Once she has decided it, she can't just go back on it. She's got to keep moving forward. Ventracosus mentions, like, maybe regressing to being the way we were before, like the Lunarians trying to return to being human is not the right way. It's best to keep moving forward. And, the gems, in a way, aren't, because they're just stagnant. They just exist. They don't have kids. They don't pass on knowledge. They don't have to grow or change society, mostly. They just kind of are. So, very curious to see the series explore those ideas further in the future. Some other small things. We do see one of them naked, and she's got a butt. Definite butt there. It's just one of the several reasons why I definitely see them as girls. That's a butt. It's interesting when she covered up, because mostly she just took the clothes off. It's like, yeah, whatever, fine, I'm gonna be naked. Because, they don't really worry about that kind of thing. They introduced the concept of romance before. They talked about that a little bit. So I don't know all the details, but, generally just, yeah, we're gonna hang out naked. But when one of them came in, she covered up. So, how exactly does their society function in terms of that kind of thing? Was she just cool being naked around the doctor? Did they carry that over from humans? Is there a little more human in them than initially led to believe? Rutil mentions being around for over 2,100 years, so we know some of them have been around for quite a long time. I don't know the exact time span, but it's been at least 2,000 years. It talks about how the Lunarians have been coming more frequently lately, so I wonder why that is. And she says normally it's every 3 sunny days. Did she mean literally? Like if there are some rainy days, they're not going to come? Why is that? Interesting. But anyway, then we have the twist at the end. Totally didn't see it coming at all. There's a lot going on with this slug, Ventracosus, but I grew to like her. I'm like, okay, she's fun. She's enjoyable. Thinks the gems are cute. She thinks Congo is hot. She's fun. She looks like one of the Jinn from Magi, the payment or something? Pie something? I don't know. The water djinn lady. But then all of a sudden she's like, yeah, I have somebody that I love, forgive me. I'm like, and then, yeah, so I don't know all the details of this, like if this was just the plan all along, because of course, you know, capturing gems would be why they dropped her down here, and they wouldn't just expect her to do it, and I guess this was a backup. If she had succeeded in somehow just capturing, like, all the gems, and then they could come pick her up, but that would be highly unlikely, so I guess this was just another part of the plan. If she could lure one of them. Have they just been watching this whole time? Was there any, like, communication here somehow? You know, this whole luring her, saying, like, oh, there's, you know, somebody like you down where I come from, so we can go see it. And thinking back on it now, like, the sense of urgency where she was like, yeah, you know, there really is somebody down there that looks like you, and I really do have the urge to go see it. It's much darker in retrospect now, knowing what she was really thinking. But yeah, how much of that was all just, I guess it was just all the plan to just get her down here for the return of her brother, because it's like her entire species is up there. And are they really going to do it? Are they going to return the brother? Like, what is the full extent of the plan here? I have a lot of questions. There's so many details that we don't know about so much of this. But yeah, I mean, it's understandable. Her motivations here. She's doing this to save someone she loves, family, and then potentially more of her race as well, by sacrificing one person who is immortal. To her, sacrificing the gem might not be as big of a deal, because, hey, they're not even going to die. Their species, they do die, you know, they gotta live their lives while they can. So that was a hell of a twist. Curious to see, I mean, I was like, okay, the Ventracosus is here now, she's a character now. So here she is. Don't know what she's going to contribute in the grand scheme of things, but things are getting really interesting. But then this happened, so I'm like, what the hell's going to happen with her from here? Now what? The leader of this other species just did this. How do you act as a whole from now? How are the other gems going to feel about this? They can't talk to her or understand her, but after this, they've got to come to some understanding about what happened here. Daya luckily saw that Phos isn't there, so she knows that Phos went into the sea. So hopefully somebody can come relatively quickly. She said that it took like all day to get there, so they might be pretty far away, but I don't know, maybe if one of the particularly fast swimmers hurries, or Congo goes and does something, I don't know. But Daya knows that Phos is gone, so the inclusion of that scene would imply that someone will be able to get there and help somehow. I have no idea how Phos will get out of it, again. I have no idea where the plot will go, again. The only thing I was disappointed about in the episode is the visuals of being underwater. Not that it was bad, it looked good, but just because of all the designs and the animation and the cool stuff that we've seen so far in the show, I was like, what if there were some crazy creatures down there? What if there's some... I knew this wasn't going to be the case, probably, but what if there was just like an Atlantis-type city? Just thinking about how cool that kind of stuff would look in this show, but there really wasn't anything down there. But just generally the water looked good for what it was. But yeah, the hell's going to happen now? I don't know, but this was an interesting episode, and I can't wait to see more, so thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you want to be notified when new videos come out, share the video around if you can, check out my Patreon in the description down below for the best way to support the channel and get early videos, and I think that's about all I got for now. Talk about it further in the comments if you want, but thank you for watching, appreciate all the support, guys. I'll see you in the next one.